e-ink tablets with infinite note capabilities. Do you own one? I happen to own a couple of them, and I'll show you guys my use case. Let's talk about it. Welcome everybody back to the channel. This is 2530 Media and I am Aaron Reed. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. That way you'll get notified when we release these new videos. And of course, if you're enjoying the information that you hear and you think is useful, man, go ahead and find that like button for me. So today we're talking about everything Infinite Notes on e-ink. By now you guys should know that the 10.3 by Boox is going to be my go-to e-ink device. It's my daily driver. It's my workhorse. It's where all of my projects live, get created, and of course completed on the 10.3. With the recent beta that's been out for a little while, it's going to be beta release 4.1, which is the software beta for the Boox Go 10.3. We were introduced with one of the tools that is the Infinite Notes that is new to that device. Now, at first, I didn't like the Infinite Notes. My first experience with the Infinite Notes on a Boox device was on the Go 7 black and white. And I realize now I didn't enjoy the experience simply because of the size of the device. But once I had an opportunity to try the Infinite Notes out on the 10.3, I fell in love with it. So today I'm going to show you guys how I use the Infinite Notes on the 10.3 and how I've added it into a part of my daily workflow. So let's dive into it.
Okay, so from the home screen of our 10.3, we're going to hop into our Notes app. Now, the first thing that we're going to go over is actually how to create that infinite note. So you'll hit the Creation tab, and from there you have your list what kind of notes that you can start with. Like always, you still have your handwritten notes, you have your text notes. You can pull from your local file or you can make a quick note. And the new thing that we have in this beta is going to be the infinite note. So if you want to create that infinite note, well, of course, you click on the infinite note. And from there, you have a couple of different templates to choose from. And you can choose from the size of those templates that you want to use. So let's say if I am doing the horizontal lines that I have selected, I can choose for bigger lines, medium lines, or smaller lines. And that will go for the grid, the diamond, the vertical lines, and the dot grid as well. Pretty sure it doesn't matter if you choose blank. But we're going to start with our horizontal lines, and we did the medium horizontal line with that one. And of course, like always, you can rename the title of that note here if you want to do that now, or if you want to wait till later, you can do that later. So now we've created our infinite note. Now I'm going to take you guys out to an infinite note that I've created already, something that I've been working on, and I'll show you guys how I use the infinite notes. So here we have our infinite note. Now this is going to be my infinite note that I have started for my 2530 media. So what I'm using this for is kind of like an information page or a place where all of the information for all of the content that I create for 2530 media lives. And I kind of have a breakdown of some of the content that you'll find here. I have a system of links and tags that I'm using just to organize my information and organize my data. So I'll show you guys some of the tools that you can find inside the Infinite Notes that you can use to get that done. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the view. There are a couple of different ways that you can view your Infinite Notes. So you can change the size of the page simply by using a finger gesture. And when you do this, it expands, and then you can scroll to where you want to go. This gives you the opportunity to read the information at the size that you want to read it at. You can also write in this size as well. If you want to make it larger, you just do that to make it larger. If you want to make it back smaller, you can do that as well. Now, if you guys notice, every time I touch the screen, we have like a little information box here to the right underneath the top toolbar. There are a couple of different tools that you have there. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about is the actual view tool. So if I move this and you see here, I have the 50%. If I click on that down arrow, that's going to allow me to save a favorite view that I want to use when viewing my infinite notes. So right now, one of my favorite views that I have locked in is 103%. So if I select that, now it's going to take that view to 103%. If you find yourself on a view that you like, so let's say if I expand this more and now I like this 200% view, I can just hit that favorite star like I would if I was favoring a notebook or a note, and I will be able to lock that in as a favorite view. So now I have 200% as a favorite view. Also have 53% as a favorite view. Also have 55% as a favorite view. So the 55% view is the view I like to look at when I'm just glancing over the information to see where I want to navigate or if I want to start adding more information. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about inside that box is going to be going back to 100%. If you want to quickly go back to that 100% view, you select the far right icon. That far right icon is going to take you back to that 100% view. And that is the view that is kind of what you get when you start your infinite note. It seems like it's the same view that you have if you're starting any other regular note, that 100% view. So that's what that is there. So the tool on the far left is going to be a lock. When you have this locked, this box will always stay visible on your page as you're using or writing inside of your infinite note. Now, once I unlock it, it will go away in a couple of seconds once I'm not physically touching the screen with my finger. So finger input, the lock comes up. And if I want it to stay up, then I can simply lock it, and that box there will be visible at all times. So if I want to go back and I want to change which view that I am working in, I can do that. If I want to go back to 100% view, I can do that as well. It'll let me know when I'm on one of my favorited views by having my star highlighted, and it also will allow me to go back to that 100% view. So now the next thing we're going to dive into is the pen system. In your infinite note, you don't have the opportunity to create an outline like you do in a regular note. But what they utilize in this note that will allow you to organize information and be able to quickly jump to a certain part of the infinite note that you want to is going to be something called a tool called pen. So with the pen, it is what it sounds like. You can drop a pen in a certain location of something that you're doing. So we'll look at a place that I have a pin dropped. So if we look at it here, I have a quick little write up on the Tech Trapper podcast. And if you can see this here, I have this pin right there. That pin is dropped. It lets me know that's where I have that information at. Now, if I want to quickly access some of the places that I have pin drops, I will click this icon here in the far right hand side of the toolbar, and that is going to bring up all of my pins. I have 12 in total right now, and these pins are used kind of like the outline tool or a table of contents, a place where you can kind of index your information and quickly jump to whatever part of this infinite note that you want to use. So let's see where the Tech Trapper podcast pin is. When I click there, it shows me it's right here on this page. So let's go to a bigger view so we can see how that looks. So now I'm at 103%. Let's navigate again here to my pin. Let's look at the Tech Trapper podcast. So now it takes me to that pin that I have dropped for the Tech Trapper podcast. When I click on that one, it's going to take me to my 2530 media pin. So you can use the pins as a way to index out your information. So within this, I'm using my tags as a way of having headers and having searchable tags throughout my notes system. So if I create a tag in this infinite note and I want to search it globally within the Notes app, that tag will be searchable and it will pull up on my infinite notes and I'll be able to go to that. So let's explore some of the pins and links that I have in my infinite notes, and I'll show you guys my use case for the infinite note. So now let's talk about use case, how I'm using my infinite notes. I'm just using my infinite notes to store information about everything that is 2530 Media. So everything that I have going on with 2530 Media, from the projects I have going on to new concepts that grow legs that I'm working on, I'm going to store that here on this Infinite Note landing page. I'm still using other notebooks or regular handwritten notebooks and text notes, but I link all of that information here. So I'll show you guys, for an example, I have a couple of write-ups on the Tech Trapper podcast, another podcast that I do, the 16 Shots podcast. I have some brief information there. I have some brief information about my 2530 media reviews. And, I just have a little bit of a small bio of 2530 media. Now, when I go to my pen, we're going to look at something that I made, and it's just the creative content for 2530 media. So if you look here, I have something called content view. So now when I go to my content view, it's not a mind map, but it's kind of like a map of all of my content that I'm producing. So let's go to a bigger view so we can look at that. So in this view, you'll see it's more or less kind of like a map of all of the content that I am working on or that I am producing with 2530 Media. And I have the different segments of things that you can find, from my host bio to the podcast that we produce, some of the reviews that we do. Dominique Danielle, she does a lot of beauty and cosmetic reviews that we produce. Um, we have a blog that we do that will talk about a lot of our travel. It will talk about our e-ink stuff. We also have the 2530 creative that we do that will branch out to our book project and our scripts that we are working on. And I'll show you guys how I've used some links to go to some of that information. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go up here to our pen system, and we will go to our podcast. So now that we're here at our podcast, I have a couple of links. So I have a web link to my podcast. And when I click on that, click on the link, and we will open this link. It's going to take you to the 2530 Media YouTube page, and it'll show you guys the Tech Trapper podcast. So I can go in here and quickly kind of review some of the videos that I've done or some of the podcasts that I've done. If I want to make a write up about it, if I want to send it out to someone, if I want to review it, to build on the podcast, to add it to a blog that I want to do, I can go here and do that. So while we're still in my content view, another one is going to be if I wanted to look up my books e-ink reviews. I click on that, and now I have my books reviews here. So when I click on my books reviews, it's going to take me to my e-ink reviews here, and I can click on that right there. That link is going to take me to another external link. That is going to be my YouTube page, and takes you to the playlist for my books reviews. And also you can have links to different pages inside of your notebooks, or different notebooks or EPUBs or things like that. So the next one is just going to be a link to the book project. And when I go to the book project, it takes me here to that pen, and I can click on this link here, and it's going to open up the EPUB that I've sent over. And what I do is, once I finish with one of the chapter creations, I will then turn that into an EPUB where I can review my information, make any changes that I want to make if I want to make them, and I can have it on my device just to read and review, to look over some of the things that I've done. So now we'll show you guys simply how to insert those links. And it's the same way that you would insert those links inside a regular workbook that you're working on a 10.3. Of course, you can go over here to your left toolbar. You can click link, and from there you can link anything from images to attachments, links to notes, links to files, links to websites, so how we link the YouTube pages. And you can also drop timestamps in there. So I'll link an image right quick. And linking an image or adding an image to the page is as simple as that. And the cool thing is you can add multiple images if you like. So now we've added multiple GOAT images for the 10.3, the GOAT. So you can add your multiple images if you like, and you can move those, resize them to wherever you want them to go. And so you can add images just like you would add any other links to your information. You can also still utilize your smart lasso. Now that I have my smart lasso here, I can link a note to it. Just like any other link. So now with the infinite notes, so if I want to organize all of my information into one place, I'm using the infinite notes as a landing page to organize that information. And I'm using a combination of the pen tool that is included with the infinite notes, as well as links and those tags that I use as headers that will give me the ability to globally search my information throughout the Notes app.
So that's how I've incorporated the new infinite note feature that was introduced to us on the 4.1 beta for the Boox Go 10.3. And that's how I have implemented that feature into my daily workflow. So you guys that have Boox products that have the infinite notes, let me know how you're using it. What do you use it for? What's your use case? And if you're using a different platform that gives you some sort of infinite note or infinite scroll feature, how are you guys using this? For me, I'm using a mixture of tags that I use for headers. And with the new pin function that's inside of the infinite notes, I use that as like my outline on my table of contents to index my information within those infinite notes. And then when I can add the links to different notes, different notebooks, different documents, and even web pages, that's how I'm using that infinite notes as a organizational tool into my daily workflow. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. Do you guys think this is a useful way to use the infinite notes? Would you use it a little differently? Or just in general, how do you use it? So thank you for checking out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.
Hey y'all, we at the portal. I'm a hold. So can y'all see behind me? So that's the portal, and they're in. Oh, we changed again. Oh, they dancing. Let me get closer. So they're in the portal. Y'all can't see them. I don't know how to work this thing.
You have to up top by the camera.
You see? Yeah. We just left Poland. We are in, what? I can't see the flag. Now they're in showing Ireland. That's cool. So we've looked at Lithuania, Poland, now Ireland. So, yeah.